Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving.
It does seem to be a sort of a confused print. We got a pop on the news after the bell last night, and clearly the action that we're seeing today. What do you think? Try to clarify it for our viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this was a quarter where it almost felt like the more you knew, the worse you felt. To your point, the headline numbers, the reported revenue and initial guidance cleared buy-side expectations and where Wall Street was expecting. But when you dug into the print, it just kind of signaled that the company was going to continue to slow down as you get into next year. If you look at the number of new customers they added, it was the lowest number of customers they added in over 3 years, well before the pandemic. So kind of suggests that the market might be increasingly saturated. You also saw the SMB side of the business, which was about a third of overall revenue, that actually started to decline sequentially. So I think while the churn rates may have been a little bit better, that revenue actually starting to decline sequentially. The weakness on the net adds just didn't give investors a great feeling heading into next year.
Yeah, you point out in your note, when it comes to the diversity of its growth drivers, we found the lack of updates here puzzling. Is there something regarding disclosure that you're uncomfortable with?
Yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't necessarily say uncomfortable, but for a business that is predominantly Zoom meetings, which is what we're on right now, you would think that you would want to highlight kind of more incremental updates on new products. So, as you mentioned earlier, some of the new products they're working on with the call center, Zoom phones has been a big topic of discussion. Even just $1 million customers with the Fortune 500 at their analyst day. They talked about only 5% of the Fortune 500 are $1 million customers. And so there were some disclosures around $1 million customers in Zoom Phone that we got last quarter that didn't get updated this quarter. And typically when companies don't update disclosure, investors are likely to believe that they're not updating it for a reason.
Right.
So I think that
right. It makes you wonder. Good morning. It's Deirdre here. Also, I noticed that when they talked about Zoom Rooms, the CFO said that it had become even more important. But you're right. There was sort of a lack of some absolute numbers there. And I wonder if you think that this has anything to do with the growing Microsoft Teams threat. When you look at Zoom, Slack, another pandemic darling, do you think that this threat is only growing bigger for them?
Yeah, I think it's a competitive market, right? I mean, web conferencing, video conferencing isn't new. I mean, you've had Cisco WebEx be around for a while. Zoom is clearly the best of breed in that market. But I think what you're seeing is the economy reopened. Zoom went from being mission critical during the pandemic because we couldn't see each other in person to perhaps a little bit less mission critical now that we're in at least a hybrid workforce. And clearly Microsoft is done really well upselling their Office suite with the E3, E5 bundling, and we think Teams continues to get better over time. And so, I think the competition in this market is picking up for sure.